Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video we will look at how to generate tables inside PDF document using jsPDF library, and we will be using a plugin called as jsPDF-Autotable, which is actually a part of the base JSPDF library. And this is a really simple example. If you can see on your screen, we have a simple table out there which contains these columns: item, quantity, price and total, and we have two rows by default if we load the application. And then we have two buttons out there, which either if you click this add row button, it will dynamically add a new row. Here you can actually add your own item 3. Then you can provide similarly the quantity here, and then the price of this, and automatically as you adjust the price, the total will adjust properly. So 25 multiplied by 2 comes out to be 50. This is a total. So you can add your own item 4 like this. This is actually an invoice data that we are generating on the fly, and after we are done, we can click this export to PDF button. So once we click this button, all these fields will be exported to a nice little table that you can see in the PDF document, and all this data that you can see has been exported, has been added right here if you see. So we will be looking to build this application from scratch. I will explain you each line of code. So for this we are actually using the JSPDF library. If you don't know about JSPDF, it's a client-side PDF generation library for JavaScript developers. It's also available for Node as well, but we'll be looking at how to use it in the browser using the CDN, Content Delivery Network. So let's start it. And if you need the full source code, the link is given in the description. You can get the full source code. So now to get started, just make an index.html file, and right here we will simply give it a title, JSPDF auto table example. So right here we need to first of all include the CDN of both JSPDF and JSPDF auto table plugin. Just after the title, you need to paste the CDN so that we can use it inside this application. So we have simply pasted the CDN, which we are fetching it from Cloudflare. You can simply search the CDN if you want to get it. Simply search JSPDF CDN and you can get them easily using Cloudflare. So we simply pasted the links. So after you do this, we just need to make the application. So in the HTML, we will give it a simple heading, and this will be simply JSPDF table invoice data generator. After this, we will have a table tag, and we will be giving an ID to it of so that we can target it in the JavaScript. So invoice table. Inside this table, we will have the table head tag. Inside this, we will have a table row tag, and we will have these 4 columns. First will be for the item, then we will have the quantity, how much quantity you want to purchase of the item, then the price, and then the last column will be for total price. These will be the 4 columns which will be there. If you now refresh your application, you will see we will have these 4 columns. We can simply style this using some custom CSS, or you can use Bootstrap as well. Accordingly, this is your own custom choice, but for this specific tutorial we are simply using some custom CSS. So we will target the table tag, and we will give it a fixed width of let's suppose 100%, and we will be giving a border collapse of let's suppose collapse, and then we will simply target the table heading and the table data. So we will target both these elements together by putting a comma right here, and then we'll be giving a border to it of 1 pixel solid black, and then we'll also be giving some padding which will be around 8 pixel, some spacing from the inside, and text align will align all the elements from the left position. So this will be left. So if you just see your table now, it will look something like this. And also we also need to target the table heading. You only need to change the background color this time. So we're giving some grayish color, F2, F2, F2. This is a base64 code. So it will look something grayish. You can see the background color. So this is not necessary for the application, but we're just styling it so that it looks good. So after you do this, after this table head tag, we have the table body where we describe the data. For now, when we load the application, we will have two rows. So you'll simply be giving content editable, makes it editable. You can edit the rows on the fly. So it will be item 1. So you will copy this 4 more times. So here we can actually changes to 1. This is the actually the quantity, how much quantity you want to purchase. Then it is basically the price. So let me put here 5, and then we come the total. So 5 multiplied by 1 comes out to be 5. So like this. So in this way you can actually give one more row, table row. You can copy this, and I can just make it item 2. This time we need to purchase 2 quantities. The price will be 10, and this comes out to be 20. 10 multiplied by 2. So you will have these 2 rows of data right here when we load the application, and we need to have 2 buttons right here. Just after this table we will have 2 buttons. So first button will be responsible for adding a new row of data on the fly, and the second button will be responsible for exporting this table to PDF. So we'll be giving a on-click listener to both these buttons. So when we click these buttons, what should happen? So we'll be giving a on-click listener. So we'll simply be executing a function which is insert row. And when we click this second button, we will execute a different function which will be generate PDF. So now we have these 2 buttons out there. So now we need to define the JavaScript code for this application. So just we'll be defining it in a different file, script.js. So right in the root directory, we'll be creating a new file for the JavaScript code. So right here, guys, we will define our function, which will be, first function will be for inserting a new row, and the second function will be for generating the PDF file. So these 2 functions that we defined in the HTML file, when we click these 2 buttons, insert row and generate PDF. So now for inserting a new row in the JavaScript right here, when we click that insert row button, we first of all need to target the table by the ID that we have given to it. So document get element by ID table. So if you see, we have given in the HTML the table tag and ID. This ID is invoice table. So let me change it, this ID to be invoice table. So after getting reference to it, we need to get all the elements which is present inside this table by get elements by tag name. So we need to get all the elements inside table body. This is the actual tag that we are targeting. So this will actually get all the elements which are present in the table body tag, and then we need to instantiate a new variable, new row, and right here we will be using table dot insert row function, which is actually a DOM function. So we are using the vanilla JavaScript right here. We are not using any third-party library. We are simply using the DOM function insert row. So to create a new row, and after this, we need to create the cells here. Cell value cell 1. This will be new row dot insert cell. Because it's a table element, so we need to actually create the cell value right here. This is actually the table data that we are creating dynamically. So it has 4 columns. So we are basically giving values for all these 4 columns. Cell 3 will be for the price of it. So insert cell, and this the price will be 2. Cell 4, new row, this will be for the total. Insert cell, again we'll be using the same function, 3. So as you know that indexing starts from 0 in programming. So 0 represents the first column, the second column represents by 1, 2, 3. Now we actually get to assign the values. So now for assigning the values, we simply need to say cell1 dot content editable, because these fields will be, the user can change the values of it. So we'll set it to true, and then we'll set the inner text of this, the label of these fields. This will be new item. So similarly, we'll be repeating this for all the 4 cells. So I will make it the value here cell 2. So if you now refresh here, if I click this button, if you now see, I do need to, I think table.insert row is not a function. I think there is some kind of error which is happening. Let me see, table.insert row. Sorry. Here we are targeting the table body, and we do need to give the actual element. So we need to target the first element right here. So here we do need to provide in square brackets 0. So we are actually targeting the table body first element right here. So if you now refresh, so it will actually, if you refresh here, click this button, it will add a new row, and here you can change the value from item 3. Then here you can change the value to quantity 1 like this. So here you can add as many rows dynamically with the press of a button. So this is working, and we do need to change the labels of this to be, this inner text will be for the quantity. So quantity default value will be 1, and the price value will be 0 by default, and then the total value will also be 0. So if you now refresh, it will come, because it's a numeric value, quantity, price, and total. That's why. So after you do this, we also need to attach in the index.html to both these table data fields. We need to attach some input here, event. So when we basically provide the quantity and the price, we need to adjust the total property, total value automatically. Let's suppose if I provide quantity 1 and the price to be 5. So 5 multiplied by 1 is equal to 5. It should reflect in the total field automatically. For doing that, we do need to attach event handlers to uh, this quantity and the price. So for attaching these, we can simply say on input, we need to define a function which is update total. We can simply pass the reference this. Similarly, we need to attach it to this input as well, which is for the price on input. So when we basically press a keyboard key to this input field, this function will automatically call itself, update total. Again, we're passing this, the current value. It will be passed automatically to this function. When we press any key to this input field, this function will get execute automatically. So we do need to write this field here also. So now what you need to do, guys, this total field is not editable, so just remove this attribute from here. This value is calculated, so here also just remove it. You can't change the total value. So after you do this, we do need to define this update total function, which will get executed to calculate the total value. So update total, and we will basically get the element here passed to it. So now we need to actually fetch the value. So element dot parent element. So we need to get the parent of it. So we can do it inside DOM right here. So we need to get the quantity right here. So we need to get the value in a floating one. So we can use parse float row dot cells one dot inner text. And if the value is not defined, in that case we will give basically take the default value, which is 0. So similar thing we will do it for the price as well. So parse float row dot cells 2 dot inner text. If the value is not defined, then we will take the default value, which is 0. So after taking quantity and price, if you now to calculate the total, it's really simple. We simply multiply the quantity by the price, and then we basically insert this value to the third input, which is inner text total. We will round the value by using this function toFixed1 by one decimal point. So if you now refresh your application, if you now existingly change the quantity right here to 2, you will see automatically the total field will get updated. As you multiply 5 by 2, it comes out to be 10. If I change the quantity to 10, the value will change to 20. So in this way you can do this. So now we do need to do the same thing dynamically as well. So right here we need to set the attribute for the second field similarly. So we simply need to say cell2 dot set attribute, and this will be for on input. We need to call the same function right here, which is update total. This, and same thing we need to do this for this cell 3 as well, for the price. Update total. This, so we are simply calling this function and passing the element as an argument. So this function will get called, and then automatically the, so if you refresh now, click the add row button, and if you change the quantity here to 2, because change the price to 2, 2 multiplied by 2 comes out to be 4. If I change the price to be 50, so it comes out to be 100. So now this invoice data table is complete. Now we just need to export this data to a PDF document. For doing this, we need to define this generate PDF function. So for this, we will be using the JSPDF library. So here you simply initialize a new document object, new JSPDF, and then we will define, actually get access to the table document dot get element by ID. So we are given this ID to the table, invoice table, and then we need to get the headers of the table. You can use this function which is built in array from, you can create an array here from this value table dot query selector all. So it will select all these elements from the table row, and here we just need to map it. We'll use the map function to the table row. So you'll be using array. You need to return here, return an array. So you'll simply again use this function array from tr dot query selector td, whatever is present in the table data. Again map it what is present in the inner text. So td dot inner text. So it will actually return these headers, all these values that you got. Now we only need to get the headers. So we first of all remove the first element. So for removing this, we can simply say data.shift. So we can simply say we need to remove the first element from the data because it's a header row. Yes, basically this is actually the data, and for the headers we define another function headers, and again we use the same concept array from table dot query selector. This time we will be selecting the table heading tag, and here we'll be mapping everything, and we only need the table heading inner text. So this will give us all the headers. This will give us all the data of the table. Now we need to remove the first row from it. So data dot shift, we'll use the shift function to remove the headers from the table, and then we actually add the table in the PDF document by using doc dot. This is the function auto table. This is the plugin that uh, JSPDF uses. T is capital right here, so T is capital auto table. This takes a object right here. Head represents the headers of the table. So we have this, we are passing it. The second function, the second data is the actual body, which is the actual data of the table. So lastly, we just need to save this file. So you can simply save it as table.pdf. That's all. So you can just see, guys, let me summarize you. We actually got the headers of the table by array from. We are query selecting the table headings, then we table rows actually map all the table data in a text, we store it in the data, and we remove the first element because it's the headers from the data. Then we add this using auto table plugin, head, body, and then we save it. So if I now test this application, if I click in export to PDF, let me see what error has taken. Object null is not iterable. On line number 47, there is some kind of error. Let me check. Uh, Sorry, this needs to be table. Sorry, table dot query selector. Sorry, this needs to be tr query selector or td, and this needs. Let me just. All the source code will be present, guys, in the description. So don't need to worry about it. I think it's a typo mistake. Let me again paste it. If I click it now, you will see the table will get exported. Let me paste the full source code right here. I think there is some kind of typo mistake. So if you now click this button, you will see that data will get exported. You will see that. And if you add a new row, you can actually add your own item, put a quantity and a price, export to PDF, and now you will see the third row will get exported as well. So I've explained you guys step by step on how to actually make this application. It's an invoice table data generator in PDF using jsPDF-Autotable plugin, and we built it from scratch. If you like this video, then please hit that like button, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. All the source code is present in the description of this video, and I will be seeing you in the next one.